So it's good, everybody. So there's been a whole lot of controversy that's been going on over there about Bioware / EA about Dragon Age, a game I'm not going to be playing because I haven't bought a EA game since Battlefield 2042, and that game freaking sucked. I bought Battlefield 5, game sucked. Played Battlefield 2042, game sucked. So I got done with playing EA games, unless it's Dead Space, which I still got to play. But there's a little rumor going around, right, that things over there at EA / Bioware is not good at all. And I gotta give a shout out to Smash JT, who commented on my video when he and Alyssa McConte was going at it about her trying to sue him over harassment. Something stupid like that, even though it wasn't harassment. He was literally just saying things that she said, but apparently she wanted to sue him for that. So I definitely gotta give a shout out to Smash JT for commenting on my video that one time. Actually, those two videos are live streamed in the individual video right there. But there's been a lot of rumors that's been going around with Bioware that Bioware has been hurting people or they have been aggressive towards people who don't really follow with the leftist ideology, right? So if you're like a straight man who doesn't really agree with everything that's going on with the left wing LGBT thing, or the whole trans rights and all that stuff, you will be labeled as a evil human being. You will get paid less, or you will get ostracized because you are a straight man, or you're just a man in general. From what I've read and what I watched the video from Smash JT yesterday, but a lot of people are commenting about this, and I wanted to, because if let's just say this is true, right? Because I'm not saying this is true. I'm not saying this is false, but if it is true, then BioWare needs to be sued for discriminatory practices, because that's exactly what it is. It is discriminatory practices where if you're not being fair with everyone and you're only playing favoritism with a certain group of people, then yes, that is being discriminatory against another human being, which in this case is man, maybe straight white man, straight black man, like who really knows for real. Like, they just said men, so I'm guessing just men in general. So Smash JT, he got into a phone call with I think it was a former dev over there at BioWare, where he had an hour-long conversation on the phone because of the fact that the person who used to work at BioWare, or who is still currently working at BioWare, expressed a whole bunch of grievances and a whole bunch of heartache because of the fact that this one person has been working on the new Dragon Age game for a long time, but he had some people who was there at BioWare, and they was ostracizing him, hazing him, harassing him, or something like that, being harsh towards him because of the fact that he's not what they want him to be, right? Like literal discrimination. That's literally what BioWare, the people over there at BioWare was doing, the people in charge of BioWare. And before this right here, Corrine Bush. From what I've seen, this person is a transgender. So this individual right here was being discriminatory towards straight men because they're not gay, trans, or some things like that. And these are the same people that say, oh, we want to be diverse, but then if you're not diverse like me, then it's gonna be a problem. That Park Place came in with the story, but Smash JT, as far as I know, came up with the story first. Yeah, he came up with the story first. But we're gonna be watching this video, and we're gonna be looking at some things from the article. It said because the video itself really explains like what was going on, and how there's the person that used to work at Bioware, or who is still currently working at Bioware, was feeling towards the people over there at EA, and how EA didn't do anything about it and just left this man to just drown. So let's go and get into this.
The other day I received a phone call from somebody who works at Bioware. They reached out to me directly, and I confirmed from their actual official Twitter account, so I can confirm with you guys personally. Take it or leave it if you don't believe me, by the way.
Yeah, so it was a Bioware employee. So from what Smash JT's article said, a Bioware employee called me directly expressing major concerns. And then from this article from the Park Place, apparently they got the news from Indy Mian. I think that's how you pronounce this guy's YouTube channel. I don't watch this guy at all. I mainly watch Smash JT sometimes. But that Park Place reported the story because they seen it from Indy's channel. And from what Smash JT says right here, he ended up giving Indy the source. And there's a lot more than that he didn't tell you about how Bioware is discriminating against men and hiring only ideological conformists. Per my source, the situation at Bioware is dire. I'm having a hard time reading today. Holy shit. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue on what Smash JT said about this whole situation, right?
That I spoke to someone on the inside at Bioware, and they let me know that the situation going on there is so dire that he didn't know who to turn to. He watched my videos, enjoys what I do, and thought I'd be a good source to at least be an outlet and get the word out there at just how bad it really is on the inside of Bioware.
So the guy who called Smash JT felt like he had nowhere else to go because who could he tell in this entire industry filled with people that's scared of calling out certain people for being toxic? Because if you do, you're labeled a bigot, you're labeled a phobe, ist, that kind of thing, right? Because you don't want to get blacklisted in with the big companies, which is why I don't get why people are so scared to go indie. Because the indie developers are literally killing it right now. I just downloaded the Killing Antidote, right? Game I am planning on playing today, and actually see how it is from a Chinese indie developer. But a lot of people who do work for these big corporations, they think they're not going to make it in the indie circuit because of the fact that the indies is not as big, or it's not as they don't get as many ads, feedback like the mainstream game, the AAA gaming industry does, right?
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Spout. This phone call that I had, and there was a little bit of confusion because when I gave some of the information to Endymion, he just wanted to keep it all private. He thought that I didn't want anyone to know that, and I'm like, no, I want you to keep the source private. I don't care if you tell people that I talked to him. I mean, hell, get my name out there. Sure, I'm breaking the story. Totally cool with me, but whatever, it's fine. I don't really care. The most important part is getting the information out there, and what was told to me on this phone call blew my mind. Going over with a fine-tooth comb a nearly hour-long phone call that I had with a source working at Bioware who has been on the Dragon Age the Veilguard project since the beginning. Well, not since it was Dreadwolf, but since the beginning of the Veilguard. And in the phone call, his voice was a mix of frustration and despair, not knowing who to turn to or who to even talk to, because he can't trust actual professional journalists out there.
Which is true, because a lot of these journalists who work at IGN, who work at Kotaku, a lot of them are just as crazy left-wing socialist people as you probably see people who's talking about more about politics, right? You can't trust any of these people, so you gotta trust who? The indie commentators like Smash JT, Indy Mian. Again, if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, I apologize. I don't really watch the guy. People like Young River 59, Vera Dark, Atreus, me, even though my channel is still pretty small. But just getting this word out could literally question people about how Bioware actually is with their male employees. And yes, EA, Bioware should be looked at for some discriminatory practices.
They're anything but that. They're part of this cult. They are one and the same. You need to get out of that bubble and talk to actual normal people and let others know this is what's happening with the entire video game industry. An employee at Bioware reached out to me via DM on their official Twitter account, and I could confirm from that they were exactly who they claimed to be. And from that, we scheduled a phone call. A call that ended up lasting nearly an hour long. He wanted to let me know about the situation going on at Bioware right now because he felt...
Yeah, I seen some clips about this right here, and yeah, this is just cringe. This is just cringe. Like, they literally made a video game to push the left wing ideology. Either you for us or you're against us kind of thing. And you can, here's the thing, there has been some good written gay characters in the past, right? But people nowadays, they don't know how to write gay characters. Just like they don't know how to write black characters. Just like they don't know how to write Hispanic characters. They don't know how to write Asian characters. They make it so toxic. Because back then, if they were a gay character, people would get pissed off that was a gay character. But at least the gay character was written well. But people nowadays who are gay, LGBT, left wing, they don't know how to write characters that they claim they care about. They make them toxic. Like that chick in what's that game? Unknown 9. They made her into instead of like writing an actual good female character, they wrote her like a colossal bitch. For no reason. They wrote the freaking female character that was supposed to be for more representation. They wrote her as a colossal bitch. From clips I've seen. Like, how can y'all be for women and LGBT characters or people, but then y'all write them like some harsh individuals? That's crazy to me.
Felt so helpless to fight back alone. And from what he told me about Bioware today, it paints a very dire picture of what's going on behind the scenes at the offices there. He claimed that the company is intentionally discriminating against men and selectively hiring individuals who parrot and embrace the specific ideology that the higher-ups are demanding.
So doesn't this sound a lot like those racist practices that happened before? Where some individuals didn't want to hire black or Hispanic people. So they're initially doing the same exact thing that they claim the Nazis are doing, where they're really discriminating. They are discriminating against people who don't go along with their ideology or their politics. That's literally what this is.
He personally reached out to me after watching my videos, and he emphasized the importance of speaking out against what he referred to as the woke virus that's run amok in these offices, infecting the entire game industry on the whole. He's been somebody who's worked in the industry for decades, and this is something that he's talking about, seeing it as a new frontier coming in and sweeping through everywhere, not just Bioware. Every company, the contacts he has, he communicates with other people like him in the industry, seeing this happen, and they're saying it's happening at many other game companies right now. They're all suffering from the same issue.
Yeah, like you guys remember Concord, right? That PlayStation game, that PlayStation first party game Concord was supposed to be the Halo killer. The Herman Host said, "Oh, this game was gonna be as big as Star Wars." You guys remember that? They was pushing that left wing BS when they literally put a gay characters, trans characters, and not write them good. Let's see, there are some literal right wingers that write gay characters better than the people who claim that they are in this company or they are in this business to push actual good gay characteristics. You know. There's literal right-wing people that write gay characters better than the actual people who claim they support the movement. But
he told me that they're promoting liberal, white, typically trans, or at least queer, or at least on the LGBTQ plus ZYXA spectrum, women, and holding down everybody else, including even some gay men if they didn't go into the LGBT and go trans and make sure that they were part of the club. It depends on a few variables, but the greatest takeaway I had from it all was it's all based off of sexual identity. None of it has anything to do with the creativity of making a game.
Yeah, what does any of that have to do with actually creating a good video game? Like, absolutely nothing. Either you are here to actually write or create a game that a lot of people can get behind, whether they're gay or straight or not, or you just making something to just spite the people, to just spite people. When you make something to spite people, it doesn't do well. Concord is a prime example. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League is a prime example. Unknown 9, Dustborn, are good examples of why making games to spite the other side doesn't work, and it just has companies lose money.
The insider disclosed that BioWare's corporate culture has become more woke than anyone could ever have possibly imagined, even seeing some of the stuff from Dragon Age the Veilguard. According to him, the identity politics at play within the company are more intense than any current level of public perception suggesting, and it's now reached a point where BioWare themselves is singularly focused on hiring based off of gender and ideological compliance.
Question, again, how does that help out the game if those same people don't even know how to write good gay characters? I'm just saying.
Like, it's part of the test to get into the company for new people that they're hiring. And he even went into talking about how the current employees, his co-workers, ask questions and talk about openly at the office LGBTQ, the gay stuff that they're into, and things they do when they close the bedroom door out in the open, like just there for people to talk about, and it like makes them feel uncomfortable.
Hey, you guys remember that one Key and Peele skit where the flamboyant gay person that was playing some sexual gay music at the office, and then you had Peele who was playing the normal gay person? Yeah, you guys remember that skit? That is a good representation about what's going on right now. You had the normal gay person actually just trying to live his life in a normal way. Then you had the stereotypical flamboyant gay person that's like, oh, you don't like what I'm doing, then you must be a phobe, you must be an is. That's literally what this is right now.
The point of being like, can I even say anything about this? It's kind of weird that it's become so acceptable in the office hallways, water cooler talk. It's literally everywhere. He stated that men are excluded entirely from the conversations unless they identify as some sort of non-traditional gender or orientation. And at BioWare, as I was told from him, they're only interested in hiring people they can control within the company. They want what they can be considered a cultist, because only the people that parrot and embrace the exact same ideologies are the people they can trust there. It's like creepy, the things he was telling me, and how the day-to-day work life is not even a job at a company or at a game company. Around the water cooler, like, don't drink the Kool-Aid over there because you don't know how bad it's going to be. Have a thought on a different direction you want to go with the game, or what you think could work better? You want to question any female voices at the company or step out of the proverbial lines that have been drawn? You are on your way out. And it reminds me oddly specifically about the insider that reached out to me from Firewalk Studios and the environment that was going on there.
Yeah, so it seems like these companies that's all for pushing the LGBT ideology or the left-wing ideology, some of them are just very toxic places to work at. And they say, oh, if we had more people like us in this environment, then it would be more peaceful. There would be less bigotry. Seems like there's still some harshness and there's still some bigotry going on at those places, but you know, who the hell am I to say? You know, because if you say that stuff does happen, like, oh, let's just say, you know, you have, and this goes out to the feminists right here. You has the misandrous ones, the misandrous feminists. They would say, oh, if men would just disappear, the whole world would be a lot more better. But then you have women out there that's literally abusing women at the same rate, if not more, than some of these POS men out here. But hey, you say some factual stuff like that. Apparently, that's bad,
where anybody who is a
or it hurts their narrative.
straight white male, or not even white, if you're black too, if you're straight and you don't agree directly with all these cult mentalities, you are on the way out, and you're going to be somebody blackballed in the entire game industry.
This is why I say it's best for a lot of people to just go independent. Yeah, you might not have the budget, but at least you'll have the freedom to put out a game that you want, and you'll see some success to it. Whether if you're a good developer or not, if you're not toxic about it. I mean, if you're not toxic, or if you own bash people for not buying your video game, like a lot of these AAA developers are literally doing right now, then you might actually see some success. People might actually get behind your game if you're not a toxic game developer.
Because it has run amok throughout. So much for that diversity thing, right?
Right.
The atmosphere at Bioware, he continued, had grown more extreme since Corinne Bush took the directional helm for Dragon Age the Veilguard. And according to my source, Bush's leadership marked a huge change in the atmosphere at Bioware, giving preference to anyone who identified as gender non-conforming. And it even intensified the focus further on ideological adherence over merit and talent. The shift was, according to him, deteriorating the studio's environment and completely eroding BioWare's once prestigious reputation in the industry.
So you got a toxic person running this company, and they are wondering why people are not going and buying Dragon Age Vanguard or whatever the hell the game's called. Again, I don't play EA games. I really don't care for it. But you got this toxic person running this game company basically into the ground, and people are just like, no problems here. The people at EA are just saying, we got no problems here. Just go ahead and do what you do. We don't care what happens, even if we lose money for it.
One that he has been a part of for years. So it's not somebody that just got hired off the street, just starting first day on the job, never worked in the game industry before, and doesn't know what he's doing. No, this guy has experienced the game industry for a long time, and he's been at BioWare for over 4 years, according to him, and he's seen it go straight downhill. He went on to describe BioWare being a corpse being worn by EA yes-men and filled with cult-like pandering weirdos. It wasn't anything like he had signed on.
Yeah, because apparently Twitter actually speaks for everyone, right? Yeah, Twitter and social media speaks for everybody, right?
For all those,
or they're trying to go for the modern audience that doesn't exist. And here comes some people will be like, oh well, Baldur's Gate 3 has some gayness and some LGBT in it. The people at Baldur's Gate 3 was not toxic. If you want to use Baldur's Gate 3, they wasn't being discriminatory towards people. They wasn't being discriminatory towards straight men. It was your choice about what you want to do. If you want to be a man, woman, gay, doesn't matter. They was being level-headed with it, okay? If you want to use Baldur's Gate 3 as an example.
Years ago, he even shared a personal story about how he was called into HR to discuss a situation that a female coworker at the office complained about him and said he made her feel uncomfortable in order to ensure her job was safe and, more importantly, holding him down below her.
Yeah, at that moment, just quit. Just quit. Because it's no point in me even staying here if I didn't even say anything towards this chick, especially if I was just talking to one of my coworkers that I'm pretty cool with, and this one chick said, oh, I'm uncomfortable with this man being around here because of some things he said, which wasn't even at all towards me, I would have quit. Because the last thing I want to do is get me too'd, okay?
Even though, according to him, he did nothing wrong at all. In a weird way, it could be described as a modern form of corporate slavery. Like, I even asked him that. I was like, this kind of feels like slavery in a way, where all these masters at the office are making sure that you are in line, in your place, and you're not allowed to say anything that steps out of line, because you will be excommunicated from the cult and, like I said, blackballed out of the entire industry. To which he said, yeah, that's actually a perfect way to explain it. He went on to tell me that the person that complained about him was a female employee that was clearly visibly mentally unhinged and would claim anything to get ahead. And
now see, and people wonder why there's a lot more studies coming out where men are just strictly avoiding women in the workspace, because the last thing that men want is to be falsely accused of something that they have not done, because that has been increasing in the workplace for years. But people do not, especially the misandrist feminists, right? They don't want to hear it because only man bad. And from what the person said, that woman was completely unhinged, like she was out of her freaking mind, like she was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, right? But hey,
he couldn't say anything about it because he knew that road only went one way. Sounds like a really great work environment for people.
Yeah, that point, just quit. That point, just quit, man. Just quit.
I mean, I guess it's fine if you're like a hardcore liberal LGBTQ woman and that's your environment. I'm sure it's great for you. But anybody that's like not that, it sounds like hell. The Insider noted that under the structure currently, BioWare's latest release, Dragon Age: The Veilguard, serves less like an immersive RPG experience and more like a propaganda piece, aligning with the ideology of the company's leadership. Corinne Bush is a transsexual man that claims to now be a woman. And now, because of that, they want to inject that and see themselves in everything they work on. And all the videos that have been released.
Again, how does that make the video game better? Especially if you guys don't even know how to write your own characters, like your own gay, trans characters. If you guys don't even know how to write them right. If you guys write your characters and you claim that you're for these people, but you write them like insufferable pieces of shit, what was the point? Unknown 9. Again, I'm gonna go back to that game. I don't give a damn how many times I talk about it. Unknown 9. That chick, what was her name? Freya? I believe her name was. Again, instead of her being like a compassionate woman that actually cares about people, they wrote her like an insufferable bitch. How does that help out women in representation? So the narrative that y'all pushing is that women are insufferable pieces of shit, right? Who are smug, cocky more than men. Even when there's a man that wants to help her out, she say, "Oh, I don't want you anywhere near me because you're insufferable." Even though the main character, who is a female, is more insufferable than the men. Like, really? Like, is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing here?
Releasing and Veilguard showing everyone exactly what it's all about pretty much exposes the agenda with all of it.
She's still holding the ruby in her other hand. Maker's panties. I was so proud.
Oh,
Ah, shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
He went on to talk about how they didn't care to make the game fun anymore. They rewrote it over and over again, changing the script, redoing the work he had to do over and over again, every time getting worse and worse from his perspective. But he put up with it because he was already so in deep with the project that it was kind of like, hey, I'm still getting a paycheck. I can still keep doing this while I keep my options open elsewhere. And there's kind of a level of feeling like you're a part of something. You put so much work into it, so much years and so much time, to just up and quit and leave is kind of hard to do. So I can totally understand where he's coming from for his perspective, to just be like, yeah, I'll put up with this for a little bit longer, but I can't wait to get the hell out of here because this environment is horrific.
Okay, I can get that. You worked on this project for a long ass time, right? And you just don't want to leave it after you put so much time and effort into it, and actually trying to thinking like, hey, maybe this game will end up being good. But no, you have some toxic people in the work environment be like, no, your ideas suck. You're a straight man. You should not even be here. Guys, is this really the environment that people say or claim that happens when straight men or straight people in general are just not in the picture? It still seems pretty toxic to me.
Dragon Age: The Veilguard is, for all intents and purposes, genuine propaganda. It's not even a game at this point. It's on the same level as Dustborn, which is crazy because many people thought that the game of Dustborn was just an aberration, but no, it looks like in 2024, games like this becoming propaganda are becoming a trend more than something that's a one-off. These issues may be affecting Bioware
And this character right here doesn't even look bad. She doesn't even look bad.
stability, and he mentioned that there's a growing talk within the company of incoming cutbacks. No one feels comfortable right now, and the entire company is a house of cards. After nearly 10 years in development, scrapping Dragon Age Dreadwolf and starting over multiple times, EA is going to have to make some tough decisions moving forward. According to my source, these are all tied to the mismanagement of the excessive focus on hiring practices that prioritized ideological alignment over skill, completely draining Bioware of its ability to sustain any meaningful creative output.
And if this game does eventually end up failing in the sales market, then they're going to blame the gamers for not buying it, or they're going to blame the right ringers, or they're going to blame the quote unquote transphobes, fascists, the homophobes, all that other stuff. They're going to blame them for why the game failed in the sales, in the revenue, in the profits. Instead, maybe it's our fault because AAA developers don't like taking accountability for their actions. A lot of AAA developers literally have the mindset where they are so entitled to your money. They have this mentality that your money is automatically owed to them, right? That's the mentality. Where they say, if you don't buy our game, you're an evil person. You're a bad person. Because think about my livelihood. Hey, here's a little something right here. Actually make games where people can enjoy them. Actually make games where people want to buy them. Prime example, if you are like Sony, right? Sony, if you guys don't want to put Bloodborne on PC, don't get mad if people pirate it or emulate it. It's on you.
If you're a very talented developer and you're not a crazy person, and you see all these woke narcissists surrounding you at the company, you might be like,
yeah, that's basically what it is, narcissism.
It's not really the job for me anymore. I might want to get out of here. And because of that, they're losing quality talent because they don't want to be around these psychos. With Dragon Age the Veilguard finally out now, it has garnered a peak player count of just over 70,000 players on launch day, which I'm sure there's going to be some people that say, yeah.
I think that increased to 92. Hold up. Let me just check something real quick. Nope, it's still set. It's still around the 77,000 all-time peak mark. And here's Monster. Here's Monster Hunter the beta. The beta for Monster Hunters is at almost 500,000 people in 2 days. Yeah. Don't know what to say about this one, guys. Really don't.
Yeah, that's pretty good numbers. 70K, a lot of games would kill for that. But you gotta think, this game has been in development hell for nearly a decade, and the company's alleged internal troubles are soon about to overshadow any initial numbers that people could be considering positive. Because you gotta think, 70K is great for a game that was in development for 2, 3, even 4 years. But you start going to the 5, 6, 7, 8 years, 70K isn't gonna cut it. These numbers showing up right now aren't anywhere close to where they need to be to sustain the company.
Like, I don't know if they told people the budget for this game yet, but we gonna see.
After sinking so much money into the project that they did to get to this point. But regardless of that, it does play into the overall perception of what's going on at Bioware right now and the employees that are being either pushed out or needing to ideologically align with these crazy psycho activists, these white liberal women that are holding everyone down at the company unless you just say, yes, whatever you say, Your Majesty, yes, I'll get on that right now, I'll do that right now. If you're a white liberal woman, it's the place to be. It's just that you're not going to really do any work, and we all know what happens, ultimately, when you start going down that road. The industry deserves transparency from one of its former powerhouses, and the world is watching BioWare's trajectory closely right now. If my source is correct, which I genuinely believe he is, the situation at BioWare is more than just another case of corporate mismanagement. It's an industry reminder about the costs of ideological conformity over innovation and merit in game development.
Okay.
Maybe someday they'll all learn from this.
Nope.
But today is clearly not that day. And I just wanted to get all this information out to you guys because it's all I can do within my power. And this person that reached out to me, it was actually very brave of them to do so, because even doing this could put their job in jeopardy, put their career in jeopardy, working in the game industry for as long as they have. If this ever got out, they would be blackballed from it. And that's what's so scary about the environment that's been created right now. And it needs to change. And the change is starting to happen because people are closing their wallets to games like this, to companies like this, to ideologies like this. And as soon as people start realizing that it's not making money anymore, then hopefully it might start to change.
Nope.
Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com. And again, shout out to my source for having the braveness to reach out to me and talk to me about this. It was a very insightful conversation, and it really took me back to the years of when I was working directly in the game industry. And wow, it's really gone downhill since then. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you appreciate what I'm doing, hit...
Yeah, so like I said, people, it's like, it's no winning here, right? For the person that called Smash JT, it's no winning. I mean, if you are a person who wants to work in like the AAA game industry, it's not even worth it at this point. It's not. Because it's best if you go full-blown indie and actually create a game and like spend like 2 years or maybe 1 year, depending on how good you are in the game development studio. If you are working for these AAA companies that does push, you know, the Twitter or Facebook LGBT ideology, instead like actually talking to some actual normal gay people about these things. Say like, yeah, okay, you will, because people have came out and said, we don't really care about representation, we just want good gameplay, we want a good story. If you can't even write your own characters that you claim that you care about in a good, fashionable way, then there's no point of even making these characters. Because if you can't even write them right, or write them where people who are straight can get behind them, what's the point of even writing them there? I'm just saying, people, these people that claim that they are doing it for the benefits of more representation, they can't even write their own characters right. Unknown 9, Dustborn, Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, Concord, and now Dragon Age Veilguard. They can't even write their own gay characters right. They can't write them where even gay people can get behind them. Not gay, yeah, gay people and straight people can get behind them. Like I said, let them burn. Let these AAA studios burn. Because the indie circle is growing, and I am buying games from the indie circuits. Like the one game I gotta play is The Killing Antidote. I gotta play that soon. I already got a whole back catalog I need to play anyway. I gotta continue playing A Quiet Place. But guys, like I said, these individuals, as much as they talk about how people will love this, like the modern audience will love this, the modern audience does not exist. It doesn't exist. They going towards 2% of the population and thinking that 2% is going to fund their entire $200 to $300 million budget games. That's not how it works. You can't go to 2% of the population thinking like this population is going to give your game a huge revenue and give you a whole bunch of back profits. That's not how it works, people. It's not how it works. But let me know what y'all think about the comments below, man. If you guys like the video, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. If you know Kids Bell, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.